Hi Capricorn, welcome. My name is Liesel. This is going to be a check-in, a mid-year check-in to see what energy you're in and what the next 6 months of the year will hold for you. I don't know why that keeps happening. My light keeps switching off. Whether you have Capricorn placements or not, the messages in this reading might resonate for you. We can all always tap into the energies of different zodiac signs. Today my creative energy is on high, and I don't know if there is some astrology, some astrological transits that would explain that. But let's see, for Capricorn, please, what is the energy right now? I haven't used this deck in a while, and I didn't use it for the previous 2 readings for the mid-year check-ins, but there's reasons for everything. I felt guided to use this one for you, Capricorn. This is the archetype deck by Carolyn Miss. So let's see, for Capricorn, what energy are they in right now? Okay. So they came out in the reverse, but the deck was upside down. So let's see. First we have Child Divine, and the light attribute is innocence, purity, redemption, suggests a special connection with the divine. The shadow attribute is an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. Okay, we also have the Bully. Ooh, I love how synchronistically the universe works. It's so strange that we would have Child and Bully come out together. There are so many different archetypes in this deck. At the bottom of the deck we have the Queen. Here we have the Vampire, the Midas, the Samaritan, Companion. There's so many different Avenger. There's so many different archetypes, and sometimes the archetypes that come out together just seem to there's a story there, right? The Child and the Bully. And I haven't gotten this card before in a reading, but let's see. The light attribute highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. The shadow attribute is conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Ooh. This energy for me is a little triggering because as a mother, I've been seeing these energies play out with people around my children. And anyway, let's get into the reading. At the bottom of the deck we have the Queen, and the light attribute is radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attributes becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Okay, Capricorn, for you, the fact that I mentioned my children, and there's Child and Bully here, you might have children. And what I'm getting is that this is supposed to be a mid-year check-in. But I'm just going to go with the message that's coming to me. If it's coming out this way, maybe that's how it's supposed to be, right? So whether you are a male or female, masculine or feminine, the red is very significant. You might need to protect your inner child or your children. There might be something, or has been something, where your inner child or your children may be vulnerable in some way. it's very likely that often our children will reflect or experience certain things, and even you with your parents, right? If you are an adult, and well, you should be an adult watching this, your parents may have had experiences in their lives, and you then have similar experiences in your life, and this might be happening with your children as well. That's what's coming through. And one of, like, there's reasons, right? There's karmic reasons, and then there's stuff that is part of our dharma, right? So negative cycles or patterns that we need to break, like for instance, if there's a certain way that the people in your lineage have acted that might not be, that can be improved or evolved from, or that was really difficult for them, each generation gets a chance to change that pattern, right? Or there's dharma, there's positive traits about your lineage that you should build on, like maybe your ancestors have a gift of performance or singing, but they never quite had the resources, or life didn't work out for them to become successful, and then you have the opportunity, or your children, right? So there's reasons why things pass on through lineages. And I feel like one of the things that your children might be experiencing, or even you experiencing in your life, is how to not let the bullies of the world bring you down from your benevolence. And this is really difficult when we have really toxic and really painful experiences in our lives. And bullies can even be the major authority figures in the world, in your country, in your community. It doesn't necessarily have to be, it can be that your child has a friend or someone at school that's bullying them. This can be family members that bully you. It can be you're a woman, and because you are vulnerable, because you are a woman, there are lower vibrational masculine energies that in their karmic experience, they have negative experiences with feminine energies, and then play that out. Say their mother was absent, or they didn't have a role model as a father, so their relationship with feminine energies have never been healthy. And so as a woman, you get bullied by men in society, for instance, and this doesn't just have to be men. Men can be bullied by women as well. They are men that try to be respectful and good people, and for their karmic pattern or their dharma, they have certain interactions with women for them to be able to maintain or attain their benevolence. Say someone pushes your buttons in the worst way, and all you're trying to do is be kind and be respectful. Those situations are never easy to navigate, because when do you stand up for yourself, and when do you turn the other cheek or walk away? And sometimes trying to be the better person means that things perpetuate and they keep going, and people do the same things again and again. So there's something around bullying here, and again, bullying can be the authority figures in our world that are meant to protect us. And I don't want to go too political. It could be the people that are meant in our lives, family that is meant to protect us. And then we get bullied. And for all of us, this is what we all face, right? With whatever experiences we have, whether you have a positive experience or a negative experience, we can either then learn the light attribute, and that's who we show up in the world as, or something can be so painful or so harmful, or it either builds your character or it destroys it. Either way, right? And so this might be something you're experiencing. I feel like, Capricorn, you might have a deep connection to yourself, to spirituality, to God. or you are required to maintain your inner child's purity by navigating really difficult things in your life, or this is you happening with your children. And these things can be really complex and really difficult. For instance, if you are needing to protect your child from a partner who is your child's other parent, right? I don't want this to be too triggering. You know, those situations can be really complex. Or if you're needing to protect your inner child, say you have a really bad relationship with your parent, even as an adult, or it's been like that from when you were little, and you are needing to protect yourself from people that are meant to love you, these things can become really, really complex. And it takes a lot of inner work to figure out what you need to do in the physical. Remove yourself, set healthy boundaries, stand up for yourself. It takes inner work and higher guidance to establish what you need to do in the physical, but also what you need to spiritually do to guard yourself or guard your children. Like, what type of values do you need to teach your children to be able to deal with bullies? How do you teach your children conflict resolution? Do you provide a safe space for them to vent their anger so that they don't become bullies, you know? Or do you know how to emotionally regulate yourself so that your emotions don't spill over onto your children, and hence they can learn how to regulate their emotions or their nervous system? I'm not going to go. These types of readings tend to take a lot of energy. And I feel like this is already a lot said. But let's see. Let's get some tarot as well. I'm trying to see which tarot deck. And the one that I actually wanted to reach for is not here. Okay, let's use the Rider-Waite. Okay, please tell us about this innocence. Okay, so tell us about this child divine, judgment. I'm feeling like either your inner child has been trying to wake you up and alert you to things that are happening on the inside of you for a really long time, or this might be specific for someone. Someone is trying to, your angels might be trying to bring to your awareness something that's happening with your child. So this can be you or with a child around you, but it's almost like your angels have been whispering in your ear and showing you signs and something. You might be a Capricorn, or your child or someone you know might be a Capricorn if you're not. We don't always see on the surface when something is affecting our child. For instance, if the people are, you know, it doesn't even have to be toxic. It can be something simple as the people around your child is very assertive and talkative and extroverted, and your child is really gentle and quiet and not as expressive, or maybe not as verbally fluent. So, you know, they might just get upset because they never get a turn to do something, right? And nobody ever notices. And that aspect of that child feels like they're being neglected or overlooked or something. It can be something as simple as that, right? But it's almost like your spirit team or something is trying to get your attention for you to become aware of something. 6 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, that's 6, 6, and 7. 6, 6, 7 might be significant. In some aspect, a certain level of challenge in our lives or in our children's lives can help us become successful and help us be balanced, help us to learn give and take and reciprocity. And so say for instance your child is very gentle and not very extroverted, them having people around them that maybe say you have a son, right, and they are around certain people that are a little more tough. It can, encourage them to come out of their shell a little bit and have to stand up for themselves or assert themselves or speak for themselves, right? But as a parent, it's always necessary for us to be able to be aware of how much is too much. You're not going to allow your child to get bullied and then let that affect them negatively. And the same for you and your inner child, a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Being challenged in your life can, give you the fuel you need to boss up, level up in some way. But you need to be able to gauge when enough is enough and this person's pushed you around too much and you need to do something. There's something around verbal abuse or physical abuse. You might want to consider where, verbal abuse or physical abuse might have affected you from your childhood, even if it wasn't just, it didn't happen to you, but you witnessed it. Or maybe it's as simple as you might not realize that when people speak to you in a certain way, it's triggering. Or this could be about your child and just maybe something you want to pay attention to. I do feel like for someone, there's a feminine energy. This woman looks so angry. That might be controlling and demanding. And that is either affecting you and you're not realizing it. Or this is about your child. Ooh, that was unexpected. I didn't realize for that to come through. Parenting our children often helps us to reparent ourselves. And these things can go really deep. These types of things, if you need to speak to a therapist, a counselor, a trusted person, please do. There's so many resources. Personal readings can help as well. Tarot readers are a lot like therapists. We get into this because we feel energy. You usually are empathic, that type of thing. So whatever resources, look for resources to help you through this, navigate this, even if it's just, advice on parenting. It's always great when you have a partner that is supportive, that you can bounce ideas off and how do we navigate this with our children. Not everybody has that. So having people in your life or someone to speak to or work through things with that is balanced and you can trust their judgment, because parenting is not easy. There might also be an ending that is affecting you or your children. The death card in tarot is almost never literal. It's always about transformation or endings in a metaphorical sense, but in this sense, I'm not predicting any death, please. There might have been some sort of ending or a death that, and this, like for instance, if you had your pet dog die when you were 10, that could have affected you, so there's something around the death that you will probably know if this is your reading and any of this resonates. Okay, so this energy was pretty intense. My camera just, I just knocked my camera and it almost fell over. So let's see, what does the next 6 months have in store for you? I didn't expect any of this to come through. But let's see. Planning and action, dark thoughts. This reading has kind of rattled me in a way. And I really was. You never ever want a reading to be this difficult. You want, but if this is going to be helpful for someone, then it will be positive anyway, even if it's something difficult to read. Okay, so we have the planning and action card in reverse. This could be about a move or planning to move or travel. But it is in the reverse. We also have the dark card, thoughts card in the reverse, and then we have hidden in motivations at the bottom. And I might need to clarify this. Let's see. The planning and action card in reverse. Missed opportunities, plans falling through, travels delayed, actions not taken. This really difficult energies, Capricorn. And you never want to be the bearer of bad news. But this is the thing about tarot, right? It reads into energies and potential timelines, right? So maybe just you watching this and becoming aware of it changes the outcome and alchemizes this and transforms it into something more positive. You do have some goals in mind, and you may even have done some preparation, but the efforts have stalled. Lately, your mind has been in the clouds and your daily action has been consumed by the mundane. This card is telling you that you've got to start focusing on your priorities. It's not too late. You may have been in an ebb or low energy lately, burdened with fuzzy thoughts and slow-moving body, but it's time to shake it off. Dust off your old goals or choose a new one. Reclaim your enthusiasm for life and get back in the race. The affirmation here is, today's action creates tomorrow's results. I choose to take action in the direction of my goals. Okay, so Cancer, if you've been in a low mood or things have just been, your energy has been off, you feel sad, hopeless, and this might be from a loss that you haven't fully processed yet. So all of this could be you, right? And you might have really just needed to see to your inner child. And this is why things are delayed, and that's not a bad thing. Say you've been working towards this promotion, but it's just not happening. That doesn't mean that you're not qualified, you're not good enough, you didn't put in the work. It might mean that if you get this promotion, you're going to be a lot busier. And your inner child, your inner being, your higher self really needs you to take some time, because sometimes we never take the time out in our lives to just pay attention to us, right? And there's something inside of you that just is calling for you to hear it. This thing affected me, or there's something inside of you that needs to be addressed, or you might have been having travel plans, but then your kids get the flu, or you do, and it gives you the opportunity to spend 3 days cuddling and nurturing them and loving them, and maybe they start talking about the bullying or how it frightens them when somebody speaks loudly. It can be anything, something simple to something complex. With this card, I feel like often on the surface, things can look like they're absolutely fine, everybody's happy, the house is okay, because sometimes there are aspects of ourselves, or, someone said something to you that triggered you, but in the moment you didn't even realize that it was offensive, or that thing that they were saying was hurtful. And this can happen with children, because they, when they're young, they don't understand what is someone being nasty on purpose. They can't recognize it because they've never had these experiences before. Or when someone is being deceitful or sneaky, or they have friends that at school that are talking about them, and they don't know how to navigate this because they're young. They've never had these experiences before. And this is where children can learn bad habits of how to deal with social interactions or good habits. It's helpful if they have an adult or a parent that can explain to them, hold their hand through it, model appropriate behavior. If nobody is taking the time to show the appropriate behavior and not punish, when we're punishing them, we're not actually showing them how to solve it. That's very old school parenting. Like, just stop that, don't do it. But why should I do this? And what is it that I actually should be doing? Right? So, yeah, this is turned into a inner child or a parenting reading. And I feel like for the rest of this year, this might be something that, again, we shouldn't manifest things that we don't want from a place of fear, right? So this is maybe a heads up to just pay attention to your kids a little bit more, or pay attention to, why did I feel sad today? For no reason. Nothing was happening any different. It's just awareness, and just that awareness and showing yourself or your children a little bit more love, TLC, and attention can flip this whole thing into something beautiful. I saw at the bottom of when I checked this one, I saw this here, and this looks like happy family. It can turn something dark into something positive when we pour more love into it, right? If you have made it this far, please like, share, comment, subscribe to get notifications when I upload. I hope this was helpful. If it was, feel free to comment and let me know. This was a weird reading and everything seemed to be going wrong with my camera, but I really hope it reaches who it needs to reach, and that you will join me again in another video.